Text bias in NLP models, a reproduction of the 2019 perturbation-sensitivity paper on today's Hugging Face models. Why should we care about text bias? Modern language models decide what counts as toxic, positive, safe, or hireable. They learn those decisions from human text, which means they also learn our patterns, including who tends to get treated harshly and who does not. If a model calls the same neutral sentence toxic when one name is used and safe when another is used, that unfairness is real, and it is measurable. The framework from Prabhakaran and his colleagues is elegantly simple. Take a real sentence with a pronoun, swap the pronoun for a specific person's name. Nothing else changes. Score both versions. The gap between the two scores is the model's bias for that name. How I ran the experiments? I loaded 2 Hugging Face models, a toxicity classifier, and a sentiment classifier. I pulled 250 Reddit comments under 50 words, split evenly by pronoun gender. I swapped them in 20 of the most controversial names from a Forbes list, generating 5,000 perturbed sentences. Every pair was scored and 4 bias metrics were computed: ScoreSens, ScoreDev, ScoreRange, and LabelDist. The first figure shows per name score sensitivity. Every row in one of the 20 names. The dot is the average change in toxicity when that name replaces the pronoun. Notice the name clusters into 2 groups, clearly polarizing on one side, nearly neutral on the other. The model is not identity blind. The second figure asks, how often does the yes or no verdict actually flip when we swap a name in? The answer depends on where you set the toxicity threshold. Borderline decisions are the most sensitive to identity, and that borderline region is exactly where deployment default usually sits. Extended experiments. What moves the number? I ran 4 variations. Sample size matters. The metric only stabilizes around 200 sentences. Trimming to only the most controversial names inflate the numbers. The sentiment model is more identity sensitive than the toxicity model on the same text. And TED Talk comments produce a lower baseline than Reddit, but a smaller flip rate. 3 takeaways. The paper's core claim replicates on today's models. Bias is still there. Perturbation sensitivity analysis is a diagnostic lens, not a number. And that means bias audits have to be reported with their recipe, because otherwise different labs can prove different things about the same model. Thank you. Full code and references are in the notebook. Peace.